Okay, according to we don't have any new vendors, and I need someone to kindly go to the Grill on Main and ask if we can have our Toy Man park he usually has the corner 2 spots, not in the driveway, but the corner 2, and he parks his truck further back. I need someone to do that for me. It's not the best possibility for Tony and I to go do that, so.
To talk to someone at Grill on Main?
Yes.
I mean, I just don't have an established relationship if anybody does.
Who's at the meeting?
We have Melissa and the 2 boys. Sorry,
Okay.
that's what I call them all the time. Eventually you guys will get old enough where you won't be boys anymore.
I doubt it. We'll never act old enough anyway.
But, okay, so someone's gonna do that,
Alright.
which would be great. And I really don't have anything. Haven't heard back from National Grid, not National Grid, National Guard, and so I've
Those
reached.
are 2 very different things.
I know. So I've reached back out to the guy that has the dart trailer, and I told him exactly where the one spot he could be, and I haven't heard back yet. And that one spot would be the dirt spot, double spot at the side of the church. That's off the road, and that's the only spot I could think of. So,
And
that's all.
that's a dart trailer, you said?
They have a trailer that's the spacing of, all right, so it's 20 feet long. And he has a little awning that comes out, and it's a dart game. It's not balloons, but he has a backboard that's black with red apples, and they throw darts at the apples and you win.
Okay.
And the pictures I saw, you win stuffed animals,
Okay.
which I thought was different, was cute. We haven't had that. If not, I'll keep going forward from there, but. All right, Tony, what do you got? You went to, go. Tony?
Well, I called the fire chief. Still waiting for a response back from that. I was going to get his opinion on having 15 to 20 barbecue grills and smokers out on one of the Mason's Lodge. We had a meeting. Keith and I went to a meeting at the Mason's Lodge to discuss the rib cook-off. Keith has more details about that. It'll be easier for him to say than me. But anyway, we're still waiting for word back from the fire chief on his opinion on or how we handle all those barbecue grills. I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem, but he might have some kind of rules on how many extinguishers and stuff we have around.
Okay.
Keith?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good meeting. They were really receptive to it. And we had decided that we were going to do a rib cooking competition. We kind of walked it out. I think we figured that probably a comfortable number for the first year would be 16. We're thinking like 8 grill, 8 smoked, $25 entry fee. We still need to kind of research like other rules, from people that have done this before. But Tony, I think you were going to talk to the Board of Health as well, weren't you?
I can. I didn't. I only remember the police chief. The fire chief part of it. But I can call the Board of Health and find out what their opinion is.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, I thought I was the one that was supposed to call the fire chief, so I placed a call today as well. So the good news, Tony, is he didn't call me back either. But I expect that we'll talk to them soon.
Well, the Board of Health.
I know he had meetings today, I guess is what I'm getting at.
The Board of Health already had a heads up about it, because I stopped in last week and said, hey, you might want to look up information on doing this. She goes, I thought you were doing chili. I'm like, yeah, well, that changed. And so she was reaching out to the people she needed to get an answer from. So she's already got a heads up on that.
Good.
So.
Okay. So by the time I call her tomorrow, she should have an, or I should say Monday.
Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
She
she'll
should have,
she'll
have
only
an answer then.
she'll only have an answer if the people that she's reached out to have answered back.
Okay. Well, I'll write it on my calendar and I'll call her every time she says, that she's going to get information until we get an answer. So that she can keep bothering them until she does.
Okay. Okay, you also stopped and went to the Jenks meeting?
Yes, I went to the Jenks store to represent the committee to ask them to please sign the letter authorizing use of the property. They were all pretty good about it. They asked a bunch of questions about, the Octoberfest and all of that. It's curious that it seems like the Jenks, this executive committee of the Jenks of the Historical Society are all members or new to their positions. For some reason, they've had some kind of a shake-up in their management. So, anyway, I gave them a couple of copies of the letter that was supplied by previous residents so that they could use that as a reference. And I also took the liberty of creating a brand new one that they could sign on the spot, but they elected not to do that one. They wanted to discuss it in private with themselves before they signed it. According to the chair, which is Laurie Church, I think that she had said that she would leave it in our box after it was signed. That apparently has not happened, has it?
No.
Okay, so I will call her and find out what the status is of that. It didn't look like it was going to be a problem, but there were a couple of people that wanted to talk about us using the property, I guess, in what they consider executive session. So that's where we are on that. But I will continue to press that until we get that letter signed.
And they took
Also,
their check.
on that note, huh?
They took their check.
They took the check. Yeah. Also on that note, we left it with purgatory that we would meet with them sometime in August. So I'm going to call them and make that arrangement. So whoever would like to accompany it or be there would be a good idea, I guess. Probably be a Saturday, like a Saturday, early Saturday afternoon or something.
If it was a Friday, there's a good chance I'd be there anyway.
Well, he actually preferred, the last time I talked to him, he said that he would prefer an early Saturday.
Yeah, no,
Friday is busy for him.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, anyway, whatever. When I call him and he, I make arrangements to meet, then, that's when it'll be, I guess.
Yep.
And the plan is to go down there and, we have to talk about that first, because the plan is to go down there and tell them what we want, actually. How much, what kind of product we want, and how many barrels, or, kegs, or whatever it is, and what we want for equipment and all of that, so that, we can formalize that and draw up an agreement. That's that.
Anything else?
One other thing, I did reach out to Dance Sensations. They're going to do the Logical Light Parade again. I modified the harness that they used to wear them. John will be happy with that. It looks more like a backpack thing. Lots of padding and cushioning.
Okay.
So it holds the puppets a lot more stable. So, and very, very easy to put on. I actually put it on and off by myself.
Wow.
So, you'll get to look at that sometime in the future, I guess.
Tony, do you have music yet?
I don't think so.
Do you have music yet?
I didn't hear that.
Did you get new music?
It's going to be the same music, I think. We're just going to put... be the same music, but because I think half the audience didn't hear it. I haven't found anything better yet.
Okay, anything else?
Nope. I think I'm done.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm hot.
It's all good.
Okay,
Nice to meet you, Mr.
next. Who wants to go next?
Go ahead, John.
I emailed Mary today about the face picture cutouts. Mary hasn't seen the email, so I'll tell her right now. Are you interested in painting them?
I can do that.
So if you want to send me a sketch, I can make the board.
You can do the cutout?
Yeah,
All right.
with a frame so it'll stand, and then I'll get it over to you. And you can paint it.
What are everyone's thoughts of what to have? I mean, do we have a little kid and a bigger kid and then a parent and or the two adults?
So I saw one that was actually kind of cool. It was playing up the German
Right.
Octoberfest thing. So it was a girl
Yep,
with the
outfit.
outfit and the braids, and it was a guy in lederhosen. And then I was thinking it'd be fun to add either on this one a third cutout of a wiener dog, or do two of them and do one as wiener dogs. And maybe if we had one that was wiener dogs, maybe we could station it down by the wiener dog races.
They're gonna
good
stick
idea.
their dog faces in it, or people gonna
No,
stick their
people-
faces?
people.
I picture people sticking their dog faces, 'cause especially if you dress up the wiener dog as a German wiener dog.
All right.
Yeah,
And
so
no cutout required.
maybe two. Maybe two if you have the capacity, like the German, the German family one
Okay.
up at we can put that up at the,
The German Shepherd that you put a wiener dog face in.
and then a wiener dog one.
All right.
So I can make those. I listened to a bunch of acts and music today that Keith had sent along. Keith and I will confer on that. I reached out to the magician Stephen Craig that we had last year. I'm waiting to hear back from him. I forwarded the vendor form off to the robotics team at BBT, and so keep an eye out for that. They should be maybe shipping it back to you.
Okay.
And I believe we agreed on comping
Mm-hmm.
their booth. And my last thing was, I updated the website as well with the updated forms and dates. I mentioned last time I'm going to create a survey form for vendors and then food vendors, and I wanted to pick the brain of the committee to see what kind of information we want to get back from vendors and food vendors. What information do we want?
So the survey form, that survey is about vendors, not for vendors, right?
No, we've got one for attendees. That's the one we've done the last couple of years. And then we've talked about creating a survey form for vendors to take.
Not for the vendors to fill out, a survey form to the public to fill out about the vendors.
That already exists.
Yeah, no, John is literally talking about having one for vendors to fill out.
We agreed on this a couple weeks ago, or a couple of meetings ago.
I'm confused, okay?
Let me make it simple. Vendors give us money. We want to make sure we're keeping them happy, so we're gonna, do a survey. That way we can, John and I can keep spending that money.
Okay.
Okay?
So what
So,
what
no,
inform?
no, no. When we were talking about this, I thought we were talking about putting up a survey to ask the public what kind of food they would see, like to see at October. That's the kind of survey I thought we were talking about.
Well,
I didn't think we were going to survey the vendors to see how good, like, you know, what they thought of it.
The survey
Wow.
the survey you're talking about already exists. I'm talking
Yes.
about creating a new survey to give to the 80 or 100 vendors that come to our event every year to ask them what worked for them, what we could do better.
Okay.
So what I need to know though is what sort of information are we looking to collect?
So I would think, and Mary, this is definitely your area of expertise, but I would think how they felt the process of registering as a vendor went, if it was an easy process, if they felt like it was, you know, was it painful, painless? Because that's a big thing, I think, I don't do these events myself, but my mother does. I have friends who do, and those are things that they talk about, how the sign-up registration process is, the advertising, whether they feel like it was a well-attended event, if there were enough people who were actually shopping from the vendors versus just.
That's a tough one.
It is a tough
because,
one. It could be different for every vendor.
It would be, because that's a tough one, because you may have someone who's got fantastic stuff, but they just don't need it or don't want it.
But that's fine. That's fine. We'll be able to suss out. You know, we're looking for both
broad scope.
macro trends, but then also, you know, we'll be able to zoom in. And
Ways to improve.
Yeah.
we'll,
Like
Set
something
up
that
in
could
the
have come out
morning.
of something like that before was, hey, you know, it'd be great if you guys had a tent where we could go and, you know, talk to a vendor
Right.
person. Like, we might have been able to find that out like 10 years ago. And I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, that was a really good suggestion. What a neat idea.
Get any more?
Yeah, so,
You know, I think the setup process and the tear down process, the setup process especially, though, finding their space, figuring out where to park, those are all things that we run into with them. So how is getting that information to them the best way? Does that make sense? Their placement, I don't know if we can if we want that information on the form or not, but where they've been placed, how they felt like their location worked or didn't work. Again, we're not saying
It's
we're going
first
to
come,
make
first-
changes.
yeah.
it is, but I'd
I
be
think
curious
it's
to know
just-
from a vendor standpoint, if,
I have a comment. Okay. I think a survey like that to the vendors to ask, you know, what they thought of the registration process, well, they're going to tell you they don't like it. I can tell you that right now. Okay. They're also going to tell you that the customers don't buy enough. They're going to tell you that they don't like the spot they're in. They're going to tell you that they don't like this and they don't like that. The problem, the thing is if they didn't like it and they didn't make money, they wouldn't come back. Okay? You don't need a survey to tell you that. Okay? If they didn't do well, they wouldn't tell us, can I have the same spot next year? Okay? So a lot of to put out a survey like that, what you're going to do is you're opening yourself up to hear a lot of complaints from the vendors that wouldn't normally have complained.
But aren't we looking for an opportunity to learn about what we can do better? And isn't that getting the feedback from the vendors, isn't that our goal to find out what we can do to improve Oktoberfest further?
Sure.
I can also craft
But you
the.
ask them,
Well, Tony, hold on.
Questions and let them tell you.
Hold on.
If you ask them
Rule them out of order.
questions,
Can you mute him?
it gives them an opportunity to gripe about
That's how
that,
the
even if
hearing
they
is,
don't,
it is.
even if they,
well, how's that
who
any
cares?
different than how's that any different than the general survey? Right? Like if people didn't like Oktoberfest, they wouldn't come back year after year. So what's the point in asking them what they think?
I can also craft the survey and questions in a way that will minimize the open griping or the open complaining.
Yeah. That's I guess that's the point that I was trying to get across.
Yeah, but let me collect some data right now from the group, craft a survey, and I'll bring a draft back, and we can check it for, for sort of biases or framing to make sure that it's not going to be open season for complaining.
Gonna happen anyway, but that's okay. It's part of it.
But again, that's also not the worst thing in the world too, because there might be some nuggets of truth that again we can suss out with
And
what we
there
see.
may be something that someone will suggest, and it may not be exactly what we're looking for, but you could tweak it to make it work.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I think the other thing too, you're talking about a lot of griping and whatnot, and I think you definitely hear that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you often hear from people who are happy. So this is an opportunity for those people to chime in as well, and you're not just hearing from the people who are upset about something.
So, I mean, surveys as a whole tend to have a negative bias anyway.
Of course, but
Like you said, the people who are happy are like, yeah, no, everything's great. Whereas the people who have a gripe, like, yeah.
right.
All right.
You take it with a grain of salt.
Do you want one survey for all vendors or two different surveys for food vendors versus regular vendors?
Do you
No,
have,
I think you should put one survey for all vendors.
Okay.
Keep it simple.
and just, you can include the food in that, and if it doesn't apply to them, you can put does not apply to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it for me.
Keith,
So I've started working on the headlining act and filling out the main stage. I'm waiting for some people to get back to me. If I book the one that I'm trying to for the main stage, I'm going to be pretty excited. But I have a local band named Thinner that committed, and they're fantastic. So right now, I'm trying to find out who's in charge of the band, the high school band now. So like I said, just trying to kind of round out the schedule. Hopefully, it starts to take shape in the next week or two.
what type of music does that band play?
Death metal. They actually take. They're not real live animals that they bite the heads off of, but they're
Alice Cooper type stuff?
yeah, pretty much.
Is it dinner encore?
Oh. Somebody's going to have to reach out to the band boosters and tell them that we're going to have to reposition that thing. I'm not going to be able to go on the lawn.
Athletic boosters.
Sports, yeah, athletic
All right.
boosters.
Okay. Well, I haven't received their form yet.
What kind of music is Thinner?
You've heard them. Rock. They're awesome. They just released a new album. It's really, really good.
What are the types of music we got playing?
We'll see.
What about any German band going into the?
So that's what we need to decide. Do we want to blow $800 on a German band for the bar?
How many are in it?
5, something like that. 4 or 5.
How long they playing?
I think we're looking at what? Do you remember what it was, Tony? 3 hours, something like that.
Yeah. 3 hours of work. We put them on at, 1 o'clock?
Do you have anyone else?
That's it right now.
Because one of the people you sent me is like country-ish covers, and he would be good in the
Yeah, we can.
beer garden.
Yeah, we can certainly look at other acts for the beer garden. The question is like, do we want to blow this much money on an Oompa band for the beer garden? Yes or no? If it's yes, then we move ahead and I book them and we round out the rest around that. If it's no, then we find other entertainment for there.
Do we think that would draw additional people into the beer garden? Enough to make up that $800?
No, the beer is drawing people.
Well, that's my point. It's not gonna.
Well, one
make-
time we
Is
had,
it really gonna make an improvement on the beer garden and make it worthwhile?
I believe it
It's
does.
ambiance.
Because
ambiance.
again, like, they're doing drinking songs, and in an Oompa band, people are going to be like, "What the hell is that?" Like, it's a draw, right? Like John said, it's the beer that brings people to the beer
Right.
garden. But
The Oompa Band did not get good reviews last year.
they weren't an Oompa band.
the year before,
And again,
they,
there was like 4 people that responded to it that said they didn't like it.
I thought the year before, whoever was in there, the German band was great and it worked out well.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
They were like, hurrah, and everyone drinks and
Right.
whatever, however it goes, I don't know.
They were missing,
It was the same band, they just had a different number of players.
right.
Well, they didn't play the same way either. And that
Because
made
they
a
were down a
difference.
member.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was
The
a
rest
little
of
less
them couldn't do
energetic.
the hoo-yah
They did.
drink.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
did.
know.
It just wasn't.
Okay,
It just wasn't as
Not
much.
the same kind of energy.
all right.
Yeah. Part of me says, let's
Try
just
something else?
let's just do it. We've got the money.
That was gonna be my next question.
People have been. I mean, literally from the time I've gotten on the committee, you guys are like, we want an Oompa band. We want an Oompa band. So let's book a damn Oompa band and shut you all up.
And it worked the first year, not so much the second
Well,
year.
they weren't an Oompa band.
Oh, they were German
Like this is
band.
like like Oompa band. This is like not.
I've had people come here and say, why don't you just get a polka band?
No, that was you, Tony.
No, I've had people, that was me, but I was parroting what.
I've had people tell me I'm doing a great job too. It
was
happened
you.
to be when I was in the bathroom,
That was
looking
you,
in the
Keith.
mirror. But
$800.
What would we normally spend on another band for?
for 3 hours like that, 300 maybe.
Wow, there's a big difference.
But
switch?
on the flip side, that is the.
But that is about what I would probably spend on the headliner on the main stage.
And that the other difference is that this is the only place that music makes money.
Yes.
Well,
Can you go out and get a sponsor for it?
it doesn't make money.
I
It just
see.
doesn't, it just, it's so
There's
much
something
money.
there's something to defray the cost of it.
Yeah.
It supports the only place that makes money.
I'm fine with it. It's a big chunk, so it's hard, but
Yeah.
What is so we do two bands in there typically. What is what do we wind up paying like a John Shore?
John's expensive. I don't know off the top of my head what we wind up paying for that.
So you didn't like my idea of trying to get a sponsor for that?
Talk to Tony.
He was, him and I have discussed this at home, I was like, hey, he goes, yeah, I'll tell Keith to go get his sponsor.
The only sponsor I'm getting is one from AA.
I'm okay. I'm in. Yes.
Tony,
I'm ambivalent. I really don't.
discussion of spending $800 for the German band for 3 hours in the beer garden. Your thoughts?
I think
Because
that's too much money.
I knew you were gonna say that.
We can, 600 is about the end of the budget there. I think that anything more than 600 for 3 hours of music is too much money.
what if we don't have another band in there? So we just have that 3 hours? No?
Oh, you have to have something in there.
you got music going on there.
But does it have to be live music?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it just adds to the whole thing.
People like that. They'll relax and mingle more.
All right, so far you got 2 yes, 1 no, and 1 I don't care. So I think that leaves you, Mary.
I'm still going after what happens if, could we get a sponsor to cover that band?
Think 800 is too much?
Okay, now, can we get a sponsor
I
to
think we all agree
possibly?
that 800 is too much. Just the question is, do we want to do it or not?
I think you can also get someone of equal caliber, different kind of music for less money, for shorter money.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you can get somebody for less money. No two ways about it.
But there's a specific request for this type of music.
Yeah. Like I said, people have been after me now literally since I joined the committee for an Oompa band. So here's your Oompa band. You want to pay for it or not? And if the answer is no, don't ask me to book an Oompa band anymore.
Don't ask me for the band anymore?
Yeah, exactly. Dead and buried. Don't ask for point and swing. Don't ask for, because it's all the same. It's all the same people.
Do we have a sponsor for the beer garden?
No. I don't have a, I didn't get one signed up yet. Still
Well-
working on sponsors. I've only got 2 sponsor checks in so far. So,
Because if we could do that, that would be helpful.
it would be helpful.
Question is, who makes sense to sponsor a German band?
Well, they don't have to
Well,
sponsor the band. They can
We could
sponsor
say the
beer garden.
entertainment for the beer garden.
Okay, fine. Who sells Purgatory? Other than Purgatory.
It doesn't need to be someone who sells beer.
I'm spitballing. I'm saying like logical people to approach for
Does Purgatory distribute?
yes.
So I asked them for information.
Trying to think of who distributes them. I think
I mean, is it okay to, like, for instance, at the bar, we're gonna have all the Purgatory Brewing stuff, but at the stage, entertainment, Octoberfest Beer Garden Entertainment sponsored by.
Yeah. Let me think about that one for a minute.
Well, I'm looking at the guys here, and Keith isn't reacting, but I can see he's thinking. And that would at least cover whatever needs to happen there.
Which band are we talking about that wants to charge us $800? That was the one that was,
The German Oompa band that has like the 5 players in it.
is that the one that we got the flyer on, and the one that gave us a price of, I don't know, what, $900 or something to do a spot on the main stage also?
no, it wasn't on the main stage. Also, it was
What was that?
we're talking about the same one, Tony.
Okay, so we're talking about the same band.
Right.
Okay. So what was the pricing exactly? Well, they were going to do 3 or 4 hours for $800, or was it 3 hours for $800?
I whatever I forwarded you.
Yeah, I don't remember. I can't look it up because I'm holding the phone. And I'm driving. So that doesn't work. But then they gave us another price that they were going to do some time on the main stage.
Now it was all a matter of time. It was a matter of like if they played 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Well, my thoughts are, I'm okay with it if we try to get a sponsor to cover entertainment in the beer tent.
Or, I'm okay with it if they give us more time. like for example, if in the beer garden we used to have like we have like a German band or something play from like 1 to 4 or 3:30 or whatever that timing was, and then before that we had a different act like Jack Slick or something that was there for the first hour or 2 hours. If the Oompa band did the entire gig, okay, now that means that they would have to take a break, a couple of breaks here and there, but silence is a good thing sometimes for a while, okay? That lets people sit there and talk a bit. So I wouldn't be opposed to paying them $800 or even $900 if they played the whole gig, the whole time it was open.
I don't want to listen to an Oompa band for 6 hours.
I agree with Keith. That's a lot
You're
of.
not going to be in the. You shouldn't be in the beer garden all that.
That's a lot of. That's a lot of oompa.
Yeah, it's too much, Tony.
Especially in the morning. Ugh.
Well, you could have, all right, you guys are the ones who do entertainment, and I don't go in the beer tent, so.
Yeah, see, because dollar-wise or pricing-wise, that's kind of the same thing. Because if we have to pay 150 or 200 to the first act, and then we pay 600 to the second act, then there's that money. See?
So I don't think anybody's advocating that hard for this Oompa band. I mean, if you're a hard no,
Well, I'm not. I'm just trying to negotiate this.
And if you don't want to, because I've already gone to them and said, do you have any room in the pricing? They said no. So if you're saying you don't want to spend $800 on it, I'm ambivalent.
I don't want to spend $800 on it to have it play for 2 or 3 hours. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I think it's 1 to 4.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Kill it. Don't ask me again. There will be no Oompa bands at Octoberfest.
you could have the board, the picture holes be an Oompa band.
Yeah, there you go. Have somebody else play looking like an Oompa band. Okay, it's dead. Let's move on.
Womp womp.
You notice how
Okay,
no
well,
one
it
even,
still doesn't answer the entertainment for the beer garden. We need to put something in there.
Yeah, no, right. Question was, do you want an Oompa band? Answer was yes. Do you want to spend for an Oompa band? Answer was no. Now we move on to something else. So we'll find something else.
well, I'm gonna bring my point back up. Everyone's dancing around it and no one's really on board with it. I mean, could we get a sponsor for the beer garden's entertainment of what, $1,000? Somewhere, somehow, I don't know where. We're already,
Okay, this is the first time I was presented with that.
I know that.
Yes.
But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is we're already stretching out many fingers for sponsors, and we're reaching out again to another one for something on the top of my head that's just not coming to me. What were we gonna do Milford Federal for? We were asking them for a sponsorship, Tony. What was it gonna be for? Hello?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
All right, get back to me when you think of that. But anyway, no one thinks that's a good idea. Understanding.
Oh, I think it's a good idea. I just don't think anybody wants to put their name to it and say, yeah, I'll go find a sponsor, which means it's a bad idea.
I mean, that's Tony's superpower. That's Tony.
Here's the difficulty that I have with finding a sponsor fit the beer garden. It carries the stigmatism of liability.
Oh, okay.
Even though I tell them they're not responsible liable ones. They don't. So to have their name sponsored by a beer garden, unless I had an actual beer company sponsoring it.
Right, and that was what I was saying. Was like who? I mean, we're not going to get Diggers Liquors to give us $1,000. We're not going to get Grill on Main or
The other package store.
the other package store or Gregory's to give us $1,000.
No.
So you know, who in the boozy booze world would give us $1,000? And I can't think of anyone.
Okay, well, I can't think of any at the moment either, but it doesn't necessarily have to be one of those, except that it makes it a little bit more difficult if it's not one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I hadn't thought of it like that. So I haven't thought of it going after a beer sponsor for the entertainment, not to, not to sponsor the beer garden, just to sponsor the entertainment there. You know, like stage 4 entertainment. So that's a different sales pitch.
Keith, what's your timeline? How much longer can you put them off?
I don't know. I could probably,
Whenever they get booked.
I could probably try to do that within the next 2 weeks.
So why don't Tony? Why don't we table this for 2 weeks? See what you can do. See if there's any money out there. And if you find money, then hopefully they're still available. If not, we move on.
You okay with that?
All right.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. Well, we should start investigating an alternative case.
Yeah, we need another act anyway, so
Yeah.
we'll work on entertainment for the beer garden.
All right.
All right, Melissa left the room.
Yeah.
It's like country-ish twang covers, totally sing-alongable.
Oh,
I
that's
was
good.
also thinking about the half-wits.
What's that? What are the half-wits?
2 of the bread-wits. So kind of same thing, like.
Yeah. So
Whatever
we'll be
goes with beer. What goes with beer?
singing along.
Pretzels.
Crowd favorites.
All right. Well, that's a thought.
Yeah, we'll have no shortage of people to find it. Play that spot.
Yeah, I don't think that's a hard one to.
That's probably the easiest place to fill.
I think we should get a vendor that serves jumbo pretzels.
Jumbo pretzels.
Well, some of the people last year were commenting that their usual favorites for food were not available at Octoberfest. There was no apple crisp. There was not a lot for
When did we
desserts.
have apple crisp?
A couple of years. Usually through the years, with the seniors have done it, or the high school did it one year. The church did it another year. I mean, and they usually sell out. And then there were hardly any desserts this year at Oktoberfest, but there was a big, why is there no chili at Oktoberfest? So,
There was no chili because Keith didn't make it.
well, we put that in the minutes that Keith is going to make chili for Oktoberfest.
No, Keith wants to make ribs.
I
Yeah.
know. Well, you can't be a judge if you're making them.
I'm not going to be able to make. There's no way I'm going to have time to. I've learned my lesson about trying to perform or do stuff at
the same time?
Oktoberfest.
Yeah. I did say I loved the information booth. That was fantastic. So, and yeah, possibly the surveys could go in the folders and stuff of everything. Okay. Okay. We're going to hand out applications for next year to all the vendors this year when they're there. We could always put the survey in there.
Well,
And-
it'll be electronic, but
Oh, all right. Okay.
put a link to it or
Yep.
QR code or something.
I forgot.
You can,
Well, all right, let me do this. I forgot to start the meeting with, can I have a motion to accept the last meeting's minutes? I sent them out.
I did not receive them.
Nice.
I got it.
I make a motion.
I don't care. I received.
You don't care. Is that what he said? He doesn't care.
I think he needs an ice cream. He's really unhappy.
I had an ice cream. No, I had an ice cream yesterday. I felt kind of guilty about it.
Why?
It's ice cream.
I've been eating a lot of ice cream this summer.
It's 900 degrees out all the time. The AC in my car does not work. Ice cream is good.
Second.
What did you say?
Second.
Oh. Who was first?
Who made a motion?
Tony did.
Oh, can
So
you
he
do?
can't make a
He
motion.
can't, he's chair.
No,
He's
because
here.
he's not here.
He's
No, he's not.
There, I'm not in the room yet.
All right, which brother's gonna be
Mary.
first and one second?
Mary moved.
No, I made the minutes.
Yeah, can't do it.
I moved to approve the minutes from last meeting.
I can't.
Oh, you
I
can't, you didn't even read them.
I didn't get them.
So that puts you in second place. You realize that?
Fine, I second. Only because I want a beer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
You can't vote. You aren't here. It's against
I
Massachusetts
can't
law.
vote, I'm not there?
You're not
Well,
physically.
certainly can.
You
It's,
were.
it's against Massachusetts law.
You don't have to be present, I am present.
You're walking through the door?
I will be in about 10 seconds.
That's what I figured if you were saying that. So you
All
want to
right.
hold off on voting?
No. Actually, a conference call counts.
It
doesn't.
Oh,
Yes,
Jesus.
it does.
Can we
It
move
does
on?
not.
Oh, you want to bet?
I do want to bet.
Do you want to be right
Unless
or do you want
it's
this meeting to
changed.
be
Why
over?
don't we make the wager the Oompa Band? Whoever's right goes their way.
All right, so John will look that up for next meeting, whether that's correct or not. He's an impartial person. All right, do we have anything else? Melissa, you have anything?
No, my goal is to get the letters out for 1st of August to request donations, and I'm still updating the list, trying all the local places in the surrounding towns.
I want to move to adjourn before he gets in here.
He's still in his car.
Second.
Do we have a list of volunteer slots we need to fill?
No.
We didn't find anybody for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chivalry along with volunteerism is dead.
Yep.
All right, list of volunteer needed along with the volunteers.
I will be happy to help with that process.
Yay. As we pull in family members, as far as I know, my brother's still gonna be here for Cash Coop.
Awesome.
So we get him all day. We're reaching out to the Girl Scouts to do the hat table. So they
I'm not
can-
even sure I'm going to be here that day, but we'll see.
Oh, you will be. Your brother knows where you are.
Hopefully I might be on a bus. Octoberfest, 5th. Literally the busiest weekend of the year for me. So,
All
I'll be here
right.
as long as nothing goes wrong.
Keith is offering a free for the committee, a road trip on his bus.
Yeah, we all might be on the bus that day. Everybody drive a bus.
Sure.
Oh, that's not good. No, that's not good.
I don't like riding on the buses. There's no way I would drive one.
I don't mind riding on them.
I
It's
get
pretty
so
cool.
nervous now. Dave, we have
Oh,
an
the
RV,
ones that-
not that it's the same thing by any means, but the RV stresses me out being in it. It's too big, the roads are not wide enough. No, I would never drive one.
And yet you could
I would.
turn
I
one
think
of
it's
the
the
buses into an
driver.
RV and you don't need a license.
If you could see the 18-wheelers and the
Special license.
big trucks that come up to the end of my road and can pull a Yui in that, they can drive anywhere. So anyway,
Anyway,
All right, I move to adjourn.
Tony, we're done. Tony?
No, you're not.
Yeah,
I
we
move to
are.
adjourn.
second.
We're done, seriously.
All those in favor? All those in favor, say it. All those in
Tony,
favor.
we are done.
Say all those in favor. Quickly. Just say it. That's all you have to do. All those in favor.
Come on, Mary, you can do it.
All you have to
I'm
do.
on company, I abstain.
All you have to do is say all those in favor.
I have to live with the man.
He just hung up on you.
Oh.
Of course he did. 'cause-
All those in favor, say quick.
that
This
got,
is why you never join a committee with married people.
We leave and it won't be quorum.
there's nothing left
They
to
won't be able to
discuss
adjourn.
anyway. We're all done.
Have to
We
stay.
can talk about Oompa bands.
We did
Well,
talk
no,
about
we
talked
did.
about it.
Oompa Band is dead.
Boy.
Unless we come up with a sponsor, the Oompa Band is done. It's
Been over this.
$800. So you got two.
And I mean, we're, as a committee, we're pretty broke.
So, okay.
Okay, that's it.
All right. Those in favor. There actually is a motion on the table that's been seconded.
All in favor?
There was first and second.
No.
Oh, he
You
wasn't
don't
here,
get to
he
just
doesn't
be
count.
chair now that you've walked back in.
All right.
Then,
You can vote after she says.
Are you good? Seriously. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So, whatever.